Okay, in this video we're going to take a break from the build for just a moment, talk about the cylinder head on this YZ125. If you remember from the first video when I got it, I told you guys that it had a damaged head. And it does. It's not too bad though, and I'll show you that. We'll get to that in just a minute here. But if you look at the head, I mean, it looks brand new. This has been refurbished at some point. You know, it's got the new paint on it. I mean, the cross hatches are inside of the cylinder. It's in great shape physically on the outside, and it's not too bad on the inside, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I looked at some different options. I looked at having it replated, which is kind of expensive, and you know, I heard that, you know, I've never had one replated before. I've read that sometimes the results are not that great. It can chip pretty easily. You want to have it re-sleeved, you know, I'd have to have it bored out, sleeve dropped in. Sleeve's only about $100, but then you're probably talking about another $150 in labor. You know, that's too much. Then I looked at a used head, and most of those needed work, and they were $200 and up. For a new one, it's $300 or $400. Well, $400 basically. I only paid $300 for the bike. I'm not going to put that much money into just the cylinder head. So, again, getting back to the head, I did, you know, I looked in the cylinder. The cylinder looks great, and I'll show you why it doesn't. It's got cross hatches in there. The size, what I do is I take the ring from an old piston, you know, just the piston ring from the old one, and I measure the gap in between the ring here, and this is dead on the 53.94, what have you, that I need as far as the size. I measured it with some calipers, and then I also measure the gap here, and it's dead on. So getting back to the problem with it, we'll take that ring out. See, there's the ring. I just slide it in there, and I test it from top to bottom, and it's consistently good. I don't know if we'll be able to get this on camera. Yeah, I think we can actually. Turn it around here. Maybe not. Yeah, we've got a little bit more of it this side. Okay, you can see right there. See that little nick there on the port? Well, that's like that on both sides. See if I can get the other side here. I don't think it's going to show up on that side. Let some light in. Yeah, it's not really showing up. Maybe. You can kind of see it right there. That bolt is, there we go. You can see it right there. That's the only damage to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Dremel with a like a polish, like a diamond polish wheel, and I'm just going to basically open up that port a little bit, essentially just opening up the ports. I think that'll be okay because it is smooth everywhere else except for those two small areas. It can't hurt to try. The new piston wasn't very much. I normally would not do this if I was, you know, going to do like I did with the YZ250F. No way. But with this bike, I mean, that seems like a good option for me to do. And I think it'll be fine. And I'm just going to open up that port just a tiny little bit. I mean, we're talking maybe a millimeter. That's about it. I mean, they're really small. But those little nicks are enough for that piston ring to catch in there. So obviously the guy that had it before, here's the old piston. It's all chewed up. There was something, whether it be in the motor, which I've already taken apart, cleaned, obviously new bearings. You've watched those videos. Here's the side. Look at that gouge. The piston is way worse shaped than the cylinder is. So I don't know if maybe he had something lodged in there and it did that. I mean, he did something, obviously, and it wasn't something good. So for now, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to kind of grind that out, see what I can do with it, and then I'll come back and show you the result, if it's good or bad. And then after that's done, we'll get back to working on this cylinder head. So stay tuned for now, and we should be back shortly. Okay, continuing on with attempting to repair this head. I think it did work. What I did was I took the piston, I've got the ring on it, and we'll show you how to install this in the next video. But for this video, what I did was found out where I put the piston in, put a lot of oil on there, found out where the rough spots were in the cylinder. And what I had done, as previously mentioned, is with the Dremel, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. don't know if you will, see how I just kind of, just a little bit, it looks bigger than it actually is. I probably can't get this to focus, but there we go. See that little section there? And eventually that will probably start chipping off, I'd imagine, but I don't know for sure. Hopefully not, but I just kind of did that, kind of opened up the port a little bit, just with the Dremel with a little diamond bit on there, and hopefully that will work. I would not recommend this to anyone, but this is what I'm going to do on this build. If if once I start it, it's not running right, obviously I'm going to have to do some things, but I think we'll be okay. And I don't think it'll chip. I mean, it could. Never tried it before, but again, this is a budget build, so I wanted to give that a shot. Don't recommend it. It's kind of like a backyard thing, but hey, what do you do? So that's going to do it for this video. Feel free to post any questions or comments below. If you bash me, oh well. I mean, it's again, it's a budget build, and we'll go from there. So, as always, thanks for watching.